Welcome to our latest episode on Can Women Have It All?
So my name is Fola Adegoke. Back home, I actually had a side business in addition to my 9 to 5. But moving to Canada, I think firstly for most immigrants, especially if you did not really make a big plan, you come into Canada, you don't know anybody, you try to look for a job, even trying to get an apartment. I remember that was such a huge headache. And then managing the kids, you get a job where to drop off your kids when you're at work. And then to add on to that, you now start something on the side. Canada, there's no help. It's you, your children, your family, right? If you're happy or if you're lucky enough to have like friends or family around you, then trust me, you're enjoying. In my own case, I didn't have that. But what I can definitely say is it's been eye-opening, and having support, whether your spouse, it's also really helpful. And then letting your kids know that you're not a superwoman. Like my kids know. What I do is it's all hands on deck approach. Meaning my husband knows what is happening. Like I work. Meaning at times something might come up. I can't do what I'm supposed to do. He should be able to help, right? My kids as well. In fact, for my classes on Saturday as an example, they wake up early, like do their stuff. They even help me to say, oh, mommy, you have an information session today. Let me get your laptop. My son will go make breakfast, right? So it's all hands on deck.
That's interesting. Okay, let me make you lunch.
Secondly, what I realized is you need to learn how to outsource. As women, we're like sponges. We keep absorbing and absorbing and absorbing. But the truth is we're humans, right? And you don't want to reach that breaking point. So you need to start thinking in advance to say, okay, what can I outsource? As Nigerians, especially as women, there are a lot of responsibilities we have. Whether you work or you don't work, you have to take care of your family, you have to make food, all of that. But thank God for Canada, right? So basically outsource. I remember when I just started, when you move to Canada and then you want to order food and you calculate it, you're like $200. You're like, that's such a lot of money, right? But over time, you need to prioritize, right? To say, okay, what is my cost-benefit analysis? To say, okay, this extra thing I do on the side, what do I get from it versus what do I let go? Do you need to get a cleaner to come in? Do you need to order food? Because I think what a lot of women struggle with, including me, is balancing all of this without
feeling guilty.
One. But then I think the most important thing is not forgetting about your kids. Because kids grow quickly and they do not. I've had situations where my kids will say, oh, mommy, you don't have my time. So being intentional about creating that space for your kids, like having their time. Don't let it seem like their second option or their last option. You should always prioritize.
Yeah, so I've had a couple of conversations with some other parents, and I see that, trying to find the balance, it feels that the children may likely be the ones to suffer if we're not finding the right balance. So what I can hear you say is bring them along. Right. So some other parents have said, seeing the support of your partners is key. But what I'm hearing you say is that if your kids are old enough, you can actually get their support as well. So which means your husband or your partner is doing some, but your kids are also responsible enough to be part of the process. So that way they're not feeling left out, right? Yeah. So they know that it's all of us. So they also have skin in the game. And so it doesn't then seem like you're not paying attention to them, because guess what? They're also with you on the journey and doing what they can to support. So that's the first thing I think I'm hearing you say. The second thing I'm hearing you say, which is delegate some of your responsibilities in a way that I know some people may feel guilty as mothers, as African women, we know that society has placed the responsibility, God has placed the responsibility on us to care for our homes, provide food, nurture your kids. And then you start to feel that the moment you start for example, ordering food, you then start to struggle with yourself. Am I still the caretaker if I'm ordering food? So I think that's some of the struggles that some mothers will have. So what I'm hearing you say, it's okay. At the end of the day, we're in a different world. Back in the day, some women were not even working.
Yeah.
Now we have women doing full-time work and managing businesses on the side. That's a lot.
I think the most important thing is, in as much as everybody's on board. So personally, what works for me is it's a family decision, right? Everybody's on board. Because again, you need to let your spouse understand that at the end of the day, you know how it is in Canada. It is always family income, right? So there's no husband, there's no wife.
Why?
This country has sort of brought you together as one, so they see you as one family. So on maybe at the beginning of the year, sort of writing down what's the plan for your family, so that everybody sees the role they play, you know, and it all adds up. And in terms of kids, rather than feeling guilty, for me, I mean, it's not something you do every time. One of the ways I bond with my kids, especially my daughter, is baking. I don't know how to bake, but she loves baking. So as long as I'm there, I'm trying to multitask. And then you also want to be careful because you want to strike that balance. You don't also want to set a bad example that, oh, after all, my mom is always ordering food. So let's get that right. In as much as you want to order food, in as much as you want to outsource, you still don't want to lose your values, because as parents, we need to lead by example, right?
Absolutely.
So in terms of cleaning, if your kids are old enough, get them on board and make it fun. Like family time, maybe you have music in the background, or you have family night or dinner or whatever. Make it fun for them. Draw up a roster. Let them feel. And the good thing about ordering food is variety. So I'm like, guys, mommy has been cooking. Like, do you want something new? They're even on board. But then at the same time, they know that I cook, right? So if I don't have enough time, if I want to fry egg, for example, somebody's going to cut the onion.
How do you then create a special time for your kids? So say you're extremely busy and these kids know that you're busy. So another way to do it is to do exactly what it is that your children love. So if your children say they love to play games, even if you spend 15 minutes to play that game, it may be better to do that than to do something they don't love for 2 hours. So if that 15 minutes you're spending with them, it becomes quality time because you are speaking to the need of your particular children.
Very important, and you have to be very intentional about it. So my schedule is really crazy, but there are some times that is exclusively for my kids. For example, dropping them at school in the morning. I mean, that's where we bond. Picking them up from school, we also bond there as well. And you know, in Canada, there's always karate lesson, this one, that one, swimming classes. So all of those things. And then because they know what I do, they also have a say. You know, my kids will be like, oh, mommy, every time you always cybersecurity. I've checked your YouTube channel. You need to start thinking this way. So
honestly, that thing that you just said now is so important. And it's also part of bringing your kids on board into what you do. Like, even though they are young, they have such brilliant ideas, especially when it comes to these things that Gen Zs do. Like, they go to your page and they're telling you do this. Even sometimes I have business ideas. Like, recently I was thinking I wanted to do like some sort of dragon's den, but for kids. And, you know, I was talking to my daughter about it, and she had, you know, what she came up with was so interesting. And I thought, you know what, there's a lot of benefits bringing them into your day-to-day, right? What do we cook? Oh, I'm just tired of cooking. And she just brings the YouTube and say, let's follow this recipe. So again, even though there's not enough time, we can benefit from bringing them on board to even help ease the load, whether it's even to think with us. There's some value in it. They may not be able to do the things that we're doing, but they can think with us.
and you're also training them by the side, right? So the good thing is, in today's world, there are so many ways of training kids. They go to school, that's the academic line, right? But they also need to know what the real world looks like. A lot of people complain to say, you know what, I went to school, but I wasn't prepared for this world I'm in today. So all of this, bringing your kids on board, you're stretching them, right? You're also building their character. When they,
Absolutely.
when they grow up, whether they want to pursue corporate or they want to do entrepreneurship, either ways, you've already set them up properly. You're also building the right ideals for them. So the way I see it, it's a win-win.
Basically, in trying to find balance, finding balance is also, there's also balance in finding the balance to include them,
Yep.
as opposed to creating a separate time for them. You can also include them as part of finding your balance.
Exactly. One other thing that works for me is, personally, when I write things down, I see it helps. So if you come to my house, you're probably going to see schedules like stapled around. So basically, what are the activities for the day? It is called intentional parenting. So what do I need to do? I set alarms, I set reminders, because we're so busy. You have what you need to do at work, you have what you need to do in your business, you have so I set alarms, right? Making sure that I do the right things. I also try to let them pull their weight. Very important.
Let me ask you a question. In general, do you sometimes feel that the society places undue expectations on women? Like,
for sure.
And how do you respond to that?
Well, I'm only human. That's one. Secondly, we're in 2024. So things have changed significantly. And moreover, what really matters is what my family thinks. I'm trying the best I can. I have their support, I have their buy-in, and we're all working towards achieving something.
How important, because I know I've had this conversation before, and it appears as though for women, our success is conditional on having the right support from our spouses.
That is 250%.
Oh, Lord. So on the other hand, do we feel that a man's success is conditional on a woman's support, or this is really about the way the woman is and how we've been created and how a lot of what we do is conditional on making the right decision to select the right partner?
Well, a lot of people can be lucky to select the right partners. But what if, unfortunately, you did not? Are you going to let that destroy your entire life? That's the way I see it. So if you're lucky enough to have somebody that is reasonable as a partner, fantastic, you're in luck. But if not, then you need to start thinking, outside the box, and don't let that define you or restrict you. But to your question, there's this saying, behind every successful man, right, is a woman. So clearly, I know a lot of women that they are the ones that push their husbands to success. But let's leave that aside for 1 minute. Unfortunately, as women, we're sort of, I don't want to say we are sort of at a disadvantage, but the truth is, a lot of men already have that opinion in their heads that, no, I should be the one going out, you stay back home and take care of the kids and, all those shenanigans. So, well, it's just what it is. As women, we need to work around all of that. So if you have the right partner, good for you. If you do not, that is not the end of the world. It's just going to be more difficult for you.
So, and it's a difficult question to ask when you have the right partner. But what would you say to single women, for example, or because women in general that don't have the right level of support in terms of family support, whether it's their parents, whether it's their partners, how do you encourage them to still go for it?
Okay, so as someone that's lived that sort of life, because I have like a very close family that's is practically a single mother, but she's still very successful. It was very difficult, but she was able to rise above all of that. So again, you need to be able to go above and beyond. So
Mm.
say for example, you had like a partner or somebody to share your responsibilities with. It makes your life, so much easier. But if you do not, then maybe you now want to think of, okay, I want to prioritize, right? How much time can I carve out for these kids? Because at the end of the day, you don't want to pursue money, pursue your entrepreneur, your business, or whatever at the detriment of your kids. So you
Yeah.
need to manage everything and make sure that, well, seemingly you're trying to carry everything at the same time. So the advice I have for those women is don't give up. You can do it. I know so many women, single women, that are killing it out there. In fact, for some of them, unless they tell you, you would not even know.
No.
It's more work, but it's doable. As long as you're willing to achieve it, as long as you're willing to do the work, it's very achievable. If you don't have the right partner, support is not just about partner. It can be a friend, it can be a family, it can be a neighbor. Do not be shy to ask for help. What I tell people is, rather than saying, oh, I can't ask because they'll tell me no. No never killed anyone. If it's
Ask.
your neighbor, if it's your friend, if it's in a very polite way. So in that case, you need to be intentional about the type of friends you make.
I think that's where we're going to say support is not about, support is not just blood. Support is also your network. Yeah, again, you are strong as a network that you're surrounded with. If you have the right friendship groups, the right community, the right neighbors, a lot more things might be achievable for you. So, so thank you for that point. Finally, is there anything, balance? Is there any part of your life that you wish, if only I had more time, I could spend some more time to do this?
Well, as somebody that loves sleeping, but basically, see, the truth is, managing all of this, something needs to give, right? Maybe you need to wake up earlier, you need to sleep later. But if you're trying to carry all of these things, you can't be sleeping at the same time as, somebody that has less responsibilities. So that's just the truth. You need to prioritize what is of highest priority to you, what is of lowest priority, and work it out that way. So for me, if I had more time, it would probably be to have that time that I don't have to stress about maybe my business or my work or my just me time. In fact,
Me time. So time to spend time by yourself, travel with your friends and family, and just let go, which is difficult to do when a quarter of your brain is thinking about corporate world, the remaining part of your brain is thinking about your business, another part of your brain is thinking about your kids, your bills.
Bills is so important. But really, I think it's really important because I believe there was a day I was driving and the light had turned green. I didn't even notice until somebody honked. So for me, that was a wake-up call to say, you know what, whether corporate business, whether work, whether family, whatever, me first, right? And the good thing is now this April, out of no time, I've created time to just be on my own, and I'm so happy. No family, no husband, no children, although my kids feel like, I'm leaving them, whatever. But it's me time.
It's your
A
me
lot
time.
of women, I think that is what we really lack. Even on social media, especially new mothers, you see them just lock themselves in the washroom, right? And their babies are crying,
bawling,
sobbing.
and they're like, I just need this time for myself.
For women, I need everybody to understand that we are great. Like, we do a whole lot. Trust, without women, I don't know how this world will be. But you need that me time. It's good. You have kids, yes. You have a husband. You have commitments. You have all of that. But there's only one of you. So in as much as you want to be a fantastic mother, you want to be a fantastic worker, you want to be the best at what you do, remember your sanity first. All right. So that's
sanity first. I hope you practice it.
I try.
Okay. Try harder.
I am. Another thing I do is feedback. So my kids critique me. Like we have, and I guess maybe it's my family, but we do that critique feedback basically. So we do 360-degree feedback. So my kids know that if you feel like I'm not paying you enough attention, please let
You
me
can
know in
always
advance.
tell me.
Right, just tell me, and we have that open. In the office they'll say it's open door policy. Yes, so we
That's
have,
so open door policy. Me, I'm not there yet, but I'll get there. Maybe because some of us are not there yet because we are concerned about the feedback that we will hear. Because that
me, I've
some things
moved
are
on.
lacking.
My daughter would tell me the way it is. My son, they hold me accountable, right?
Table. So those are
Even
your
my husband
accountability
does that.
partners.
Yes, even he does that to say, Mrs. Winfrey needs to be Mrs. Cyber, right? Maybe we've not eaten proper food or whatever. Because the truth is, nobody's perfect.
And we have blind spots.
Exactly.
And because we have blind spots, we need people to tell us what our blind spots are. So this is such fantastic feedback in that it would help us know what areas, because in finding balance, we might be overstretching. Some things might really be lacking, and if you have a blind spot, you wouldn't know, which is where you need your partners and people that love you to tell you so that you can make adjustments. So that's another great point, Mrs. Winfinite.
People that are not afraid to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one other important factor, which you already covered, Banke, is having the right network.
Mm-hmm.
So you need women, because the truth is, at times you're so frustrated that you just want to give up. So you need to have like an accountability partner, a ranting partner, so that whenever you just feel like, you know what, I cannot come and kill myself.
You just go
This
there and
business,
just
I'm
boom.
done. You just pick up the phone, call that person, look for people that you guys have that sort of relationship to sort of pull each other up. When you feel like giving up, you call the person. When the person feels like, and somebody that would drag you along to say, oh, what's happening? Why are you not doing this? Let's go this way. Let's go that way. That's also, in fact, I cannot overemphasize. That is
that. So which is the support that we talked about, to say you will, as women, is a blessing as far as I'm concerned to be a woman. We can do so much.
Yep.
But you can do so much in a painless way if you have the right level of support, which doesn't have to be your family. We can be your accountability partners. It can be your children. It can be your friends. It can be one or two or three people that you've selected that you trust to share your moments with and to brainstorm with and to, ask critical questions about yourself and about your business and about your decisions too. So that's good feedback. So I'm excited to have had this conversation with you. We need strong women encouraging others, especially the younger ones. So again, for the younger ones, you haven't chosen a partner yet is important. Having the right partner helps. For those of us that are not going to have partners, even for those of us that have partners, having the right connections, the right network, the right friendship groups, the right community to lean on, to support as we try to find balance. And never forget that a little me time never does anybody harm.
Yes, to sum it up, thank you.
Anyway, thank you so much, Fola. It's been great having you. I look forward to having more conversations with you, and I'm going to bring you back to talk to us about how to identify whether your child has tech skills.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I look forward to that.
Yeah, so as a cybersecurity expert, it's interesting to know how to help your children, like how to direct them. Some kids, we're just pushing them because we know there's money there, but who knows? They may not have the head for it. So we need your help in terms of how to identify if our kids are tech inclined or not.
Okay, that's okay. I mean, my daughter was telling me the other day that she's Gen Alpha. I had to go Google it.
Is there anything called Gen Alpha?
Yes.
Oh my world.
I had to Google it. So it's no longer Gen Z. Like there's now another generation after that. So things have changed.
Oh, okay. So because Talking about Gen Alpha is a totally different topic, I'm sure, because I think it's in that Gen Alpha that we talk about how to win our kids off tech gadgets.
That monster.
Yes, I mean, I was on a cruise recently and it was a topic, and I could see the pain that some parents were going through and the challenges that they are having with their kids and gadgets. And it's a real issue. I didn't realize how painful it was for parents. Some parents feel their kids have stopped communicating as a result of that. Some parents feel that their kids are now depressed as a result of that. As a matter of fact, on the cruise, we didn't have Wi-Fi for our children.
Wow.
Yes, and you could see that some of the kids were really acting out. It was like they were undergoing withdrawal symptoms because they didn't have their gadgets. And so I think that's another topic, how to deal with Generation Alpha and their addiction to gadgets.
That will be a fantastic topic. I feel like practically everybody I know, one way or the other, is going through this.
I think so.
Yeah. And for parents, I think it's just really important to know your child, because as I've come to realize, I have 2 kids. At times I wonder to myself to say, okay, these 2 children have the same parents, right?
Yeah.
And we are bringing up the exact same way. So why are we not getting the
same result? Yeah. So on that topic though, like I feel this is not about parents. Yes, parents can come and share some ideas, the successful ones, on how they've been able to win off their kids. But I think we need experts to help us understand how the brains of this generation alphas function, and what are the healthy ways to win them off these gadgets in a way that they don't become sick. Because like I said, on this cruise, I realized that this is now like the way you take adults off cigarettes and how they behave. And you could literally see the kids falling apart. I want my iPad. I want my phone. Give it to me. Mommy, please give it to me. Like, it was a real problem. And it's something that is worth talking about. So hopefully we get to bring you back to have that conversation.
Thanks, Banky.
All right. Take care and we'll see you later.
All right then. Bye.
All right then, bye. And this is a wrap. It's been fantastic talking to all of these great women out there, talking about, what it takes for women to have it all. I think the feedback has been amazing. I've personally taken some solid points from some of these conversations, and I do hope you find this very useful. And next ParentPulse, in a few weeks, we're going to be talking about children, the addiction for gadgets, and how to win them off. So stay tuned. Make sure you're following us on our YouTube channel to get notification when it drops. Take care and see you.